Locals warn derelict barge, Nabarima, about to spill 55 million gallons of oil and no one is helping.
Here's a summary of the article.
Locals fear the derelict vessel is about to dump its near 55 million gallons of oil right at the mouth of the Caribbean Sea. It's very clear that the vessel is in trouble. There's no doubt. The FSO Nabarima sails under the Venezuelan flag and has a capacity of 1.4 million barrels of oil. Records show its capacity was last listed at 1.3 million barrels or about 54.6 million gallons. It's owned in part by the state-owned energy company PDVSA and Italian oil company Eni. The vessel was abandoned near capacity when U.S. sanctions prevented Citgo from purchasing the oil in early 2019, according to Reuters. In a statement, the embassy said, "The United States remains concerned by the potential risk to safety and environment posed by the Venezuelan-flagged vessel, Nabarima, in the Gulf of Paria. We strongly support immediate actions to bring the Nabarima up to international safety standards and avoid possible environmental harm, which could negatively impact not only the Venezuelan people but also those in nearby countries. PDVSA has a responsibility to take action to avoid an environmental disaster in Venezuelan waters. The Caribbean current sends waters northwestward and into the Gulf of Mexico, meaning 55 million gallons of crude oil wouldn't necessarily be an isolated problem."
This post received a score of 26,000, with an upvote ratio of 97%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
"It's too risky to go near it. Will soon turn into, it was too late to do anything anyways. This is a disaster that, like many before it, will just be allowed to happen."
Don't forget the documentary that will follow soon after. A tell-all about how things went wrong and how we need to be better to this good old planet of ours, again.
This thing is literally parked in between Venezuela and Trinidad and Tobago in what's essentially a large gulf. It's registered to Venezuela and is in Venezuelan waters. But Trinidad and Tobago would get the full force of this spill as those islands are only a few dozen miles away. There is, what appears to be empty, vessel from Hong Kong on its way to the closest port in Trinidad, but that and any ship will still take up to a week or even two to get there.
What are you looking at that shows a vessel on the way? Or are you reading that somewhere?
You can look at a vessel's starting point and destination on marinetraffic.com. But I'm not sure if you can search for a vessel base on its route. Almost every ship above a certain size has a sort of transponder that broadcasts certain information, similar to what aircraft have. A long time ago I used to help with some visualizations on the data generated by those things.
Assume you mean Ash.
This tanker is in the Gulf, I've even sailed by it before. This is going to be an ecological disaster of unbelievable proportion to my island. It really breaks my heart as someone who's going to be dealing with the impacts of this disaster, and my country has no say in the matter because the USA and Venezuela dislike each other. I'm in university attending my lectures on Zoom this semester.
Most of us agree with you. Governments can get bent.
Are we really heading to a point where we have to revolt against our governments to get fair treatment? Such is the cyclical nature of society.
The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. Thomas Jefferson.
Sails under the Venezuelan flag. It's owned in part by the state-owned energy company PDVSA and Italian oil company Eni. This should end well.
The vessel was abandoned near capacity when U.S. sanctions prevented Citgo from purchasing the oil in early 2019, according to Reuters.
First thing, the U.S. needs to fly one of its many C-130s over and drop multiple large marine salvage airbags to attach to the side, base of the hull to slow down the sinking while another ship is taken out to collect the 55 million gallons of oil.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.